themed live stream. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, welcome to Paint Life Live. As always, the chat is open. Use that chat. We'll throw your comments on the screen, but also, most importantly, where are you watching from? Your city, your state, your country. I want you to represent the paint family around the world. You let us know. So today is Halloween. We're gonna do something Halloween themed. And as it's coming to life, I would love to hear your guesses in the chat. And again, let me know if you have any questions. If we don't get to the questions during this chat, I'll do my best to answer them on the next chat. While the painting's coming to life, I'll give insight to my process and some random stories and thoughts. So here we go. All right. So let's start over here. Let's start with a little undertone. So usually when I do these paintings, I like to start with a color that I call it the undertone, but it's a color that I want to have a theme throughout the painting within the shadows. So that means that my subject may not be this color in the end, but you'll kind of feel this color. Now I'm starting with this cool color because I eventually am going to bring some warm colors to contrast this on top. But also in this style of painting, as this is a slowed down version of what I do on stage, and so with this, it kind of helps me sketch out, per se, a shape on the canvas. It helps me see sort of where I'm going to place some things. And again, still getting that looseness of that first layer. You always want to make sure that your first layer is as loose as possible. That's why if you need to sketch out your stuff, sketch it out. If you go right into it, just make sure you're giving yourself the chance to have a painting and an image that represents your style, your movement, how you see the world. This is how I do it. So I'm going to use this blue as well for that undertone. Let's put some under there. Now, I don't know if you're watching this, if you've seen some live streams before, if you're familiar with my normal day-to-day look, something's missing. I'm missing my beard. I shaved it all off for the sake of my Halloween costume. So if you don't follow me yet, go to Instagram, check out my latest post with my Halloween costume. We got, every year we always go full out. I think this year, just for the simple fact that I shaved off my beard that I wear every day, some true dedication there for this year's Halloween. Oh, also, I would love to know, what are you for Halloween? So let me know below in the chat, what are you dressing up as? Or what have you dressed up as in past years? Let me know in the chat. So for us, myself and Chadi, when we first got together, she told me, she's like, look, I'm really into Halloween. And it's kind of a deal breaker if you aren't into dressing up, which I know she probably would have just dressed up on her own anyways. But I was like, no, I could get into this. So for the first year that we were dating, I just so happened to have a show at Madison Square Garden doing halftime for the Knicks. And it was on Halloween. So I thought, all right, this is my chance to impress her. And I dressed up that year as Bob Ross, and I also performed as Bob Ross doing the halftime, which was hilarious because whether people got the joke or not, people were just probably thinking like, who's this random guy with an afro painting halftime for the Knicks? But it was fun. I think the next year after that, I was actually home, and I believe we were, Salvador Dali and Frida. And then, let's see, what were we after that? And then I believe we were Beetlejuice. after that. And then Homer and Marge Simpson. And then, where were we last year? Why am I blanking on that? Oh, we were Frankenstein and Frankenstein's Bride. And then this year, if you saw those posts, we were Jack and Sally. And believe it or not, we're already working on next year's costume. But either way, thank you all for joining today for this live stream, Halloween theme. Of course, the painting is going to reflect that. Just trying to get these undertones, colors down. Again, I kind of use this as like an opportunity to sketch out. You know, just be very loose, block in the image. All right, that's a good start. Now, get into this turquoise color. And I wonder if you have any guesses. It'll let me know in the comments. By the way, I don't think I shaved my beard since like 2012. So I think that was maybe the last time I shaved. So I'm still getting used to it. It's quite the shock to some people that were following me on Instagram. And the funniest thing was I did a poll. So I said, what do you guys think? Like, should I grow it back? And I got the poll results back. And believe it or not, it was actually split down the middle. And also, believe it or not, I got more votes to keep it shaved. So let me know, maybe you could help me in the comments. Should I grow the beard back? Should I shave it? You let me know below. Say beard or keep it clean. You can let me know in the comments. This is what I love about paint is it's just like a big illusion. You know, there's just splotches of color that ultimately give the illusion that there's an image there. All this is just blocks of color. But keep your guesses coming. Have any guesses? What do you think it's going to be for this Halloween themed live stream? Switch these brushes up and go a little bit. So sometimes when I start with a wider brush to block in those shapes, and then I start to get more fine-tuned. And then usually I don't get more fine-tuned till later, but right now I'm gonna work on a piece over here that, you know, I just wanted to be a little bit more, a little cleaner. A lot of people ask what type of paint do I use when I'm painting. So this is just a latex house paint. Same paint you use to paint your walls at home. Just using it for a different purpose. Go a little bit darker with this gray. have any guesses, let me know below in the comments. But don't forget, please share, what are you gonna be for Halloween, either tonight or actually tonight's your only chance. So what are you gonna be tonight, or what have you dressed up as in the past as well? Building this up. So when I'm painting, I'm also, I don't know if you noticed, but the way that I hold these brushes is I'm trying to hold them as far back as possible. I'm also holding them with my index and thumb. I just feel like it helps me be a little bit more loose with my movements. And I'm also relying more so on the motion of my whole arm rather than just my wrist. Now, I still rotate my wrist and include that into the movement of the painting, but just keep in mind, you know, giving yourself more range of motion helps your painting feel more loose, if that's something you're trying to achieve. And that is definitely something I'm trying to achieve. All right, let's switch up these brushes again, get rid of those big wide brushes. We're gonna go in now with something even smaller. Let's go back to this green. I'm sure you have a hint of what it could be, and you can let me know in the comments. Right there, that little section where I'm adding the green and I'm connecting the two sections with the green, but also you could still see and feel that purple that I put on first. That's why I add the undertone. I add that first so that it actually gives it more depth. So one thing, it's sort of a pet peeve of mine when I look at artists' work, and you could tell that they don't have a lot of experience painting yet because there is no wash or undertone under their painting. You actually see like the white of the canvas, or if you're painting on black, just the black everywhere. So give it a little bit more depth, add a wash or an undertone or some sort of color, and start to paint and build on top of that. So you get these really cool sections right here where I'm blending the green with those colors underneath. Iconic green right here that I'm painting. Hope you're picking up on this. A true Halloween icon, to say the least. Holding back on those brushes still. Mixing in that green with the blue. Just building up those layers. I'm going to use these brushes again. So let's clean these. Wash those off. And let's go to a lighter color over here. We're gonna work on the face on the left. Let's just go straight white. So painting with latex house paint does come with some challenges. One of those challenges is the fact that the paint's viscosity is very, very free, which means it runs a lot more like liquid than it does paint. So when you're building on top of this, sometimes I wait for sections to dry. Otherwise, I have to learn to just mix the colors as I go. Now, the good thing about that is paint, you can paint over it. So if there's a section that doesn't really go well to right, paint over it. Let's go back, get some more paint. Also, I don't have a reference image near me right now, but if you need one, set one up. Whatever references will help you achieve your painting, do that. Like, don't think that you gotta be an artist and be a magician at the same time. Actually, I'm gonna let this dry a little bit because I was just talking about how it's still wet, so the paint is mixing, but I do want it to be a little bit more opaque. You can't see through it, so I'm gonna come back to that section. Pretty cool, it's just all mixing together. Go for a thinner brush right now. Get some highlights in the eyes. Very simple, just like that. You know, one of the best challenges as an artist is to become more observant of life, because that observation is what translates into your work. And so as much as people will tell you need to be in the studio creating, pumping out art, you also need to go live life and experience it and be inspired and observe, what does love feel like in this life or the afterlife? How does the morning sun hit the side of a dog when it's out for a walk? You start to pick up on these things, and then your job as an artist is to translate either that feeling or the actual image into your art. So becoming more observant as an artist is one of the, I think, greatest skill sets that I don't think are always celebrated. So work on how can you be more observant. Underrated, that was the term I was looking for. All right, let's dry these off. Let's go back to, let's get a brighter green in here. Let's do something in between. I'm gonna mix it with a darker green. We're not gonna go full on lime green yet. All right. Just doing these lines very loose. It's amazing what just a few brush strokes of color can just bring something to life. It can in some texture in this. I like to turn the brush around, use the back of the brush to kind of cut through to the color of the canvas, and it leaves these lines that are just like, it's like lines so clean you couldn't even draw or paint them, but scraping them away, scraping the paint away, somehow does the job. Little trick. Remember, you got to add your artistic voice on the top of all this, so don't forget that. This painting is waiting for your artistic voice. Speak on it, speak for it. Bring in the ear. Iconic creature. I don't know, does Frankenstein have eyelashes? You have to let me know in the comments. Does Frankenstein have eyelashes? Can you let me know? All right, let's get into some highlights. Go back. Get some more white, come back to the canvas and get that real thick highlight on the cheek, on the eyelid, center of this face, just blend it in. And then we're gonna actually cut in another highlight up top. But before I do that, brush that off. And he's got these like things keeping his head together. Of course, got his iconic bolt coming out of his neck. All right, looks good. We're gonna ditch these brushes. We're gonna keep going. I'm gonna go back to these longer. So the cool thing about these brushes is, one, the price. These are super cheap. I get these at Hobby Lobby or Michael's and PAX, and they're very affordable. But the reason why I love these is, one, is they're also, what's the word that I'm looking for? Synthetic. So they're also synthetic, which means I get a better bounce for it, and I can really put these to work, and they're not gonna be as destroyed as, say, a natural hair brush. But also what I love about these is, when you turn them wide, you can fill a huge space, but also you can turn them sideways, and I get this long, clean line, which is what I'm gonna use it for right now. So there's this really big highlight on the side of his face that I just wanna hit, and I want all the white in this brush to really come out, and you can see that, how thick that is. Just like that. I love these huge, wide synthetic brushes. We're gonna go back to the white, fill it up. So I mentioned earlier what some of my past costumes. Last year I was Frankenstein, and it was one of my favorite ones. It's probably actually on my Instagram page, but it was just so much fun, so iconic. Love that. These brushes just getting that nice wide detail. I'm gonna go back to the whites. Oh, by the way, let me mention, this last summer we had launched my 30-day artist coaching program called Paint and Prosper. We're gonna be relaunching it again in the new year. And so those of you who are artists who have maybe launched your career, you've stalled, maybe you've sold some paintings, but now you're thinking, how do I sustain this over time? And so during this Paint and Prosper course, I'll share what I've learned in the past 20 years, from a lot of ups, a lot of downs and back and forth, but what has helped sustain me over time? It's broken up into 4 weeks. We start with the foundation to becoming an art star. And so there's more information. You can actually just DM me and I'll send you the info, but we're gonna be relaunching this on Black Friday. So you're gonna get a deal on Black Friday that you won't be able to get in the new year when it actually launches. So just keep an eye out for that, or you can DM me for more info and I'll get that to you. All right, back to the painting. All right, now we're gonna be adding some more of this light rim along Frankenstein's bride's face. Like that. All right. So we've got, now I'm thinking about this background color. Before we do that though, let's add that iconic piece of hair that's in his bride's hair, that swoop. Like that. I'm just rotating my wrist. Those angles, and then I'm pressing down and adding more pressure in the areas where I want more of a highlight. And then I'm going to blend that with where that hairline started. I've got that. Let's make this brighter though. I mean, she's known for that white strip of hair. I'm going to add more pressure in the center where I want the highlight. Just follow that line. Everywhere I want it to stand out, I just add more pressure. All right, it's coming together. So now let's finish up this background. I started adding this green color to the background, but I want that color, I wanted the green to sort of glow up. So let's do this. Let's add some more of that green. And then we're gonna blend it as we go with colors that are darker, like the grays, and we're gonna go into the black. So let's start with this. Let's even add a little bit more yellow down here. Blend that yellow in. And then now let's step up in colors. We're gonna go over here to the grays. Add sort of a medium gray. Leave that black line around the face so that it frames it really nice. All right, just like that. Now we're gonna keep going up in color. So I'm gonna go straight to the black because it'll probably blend to like a gray that's in between the two colors. Kind of see that. I don't want it to look too uniform, so I'm gonna blend that down. And then let's keep going up with the black. So I'm gonna get rid of the excess paint, wipe it on the ground. Let's go back to the black. I'm just gonna blend that in. So instead of leaving the canvas black, we're gonna add the black so at least we get some texture. The texture will give the painting depth. So sometimes if you're the artist and you're thinking, well, there's white in my image and the canvas is white, so I'm just gonna leave it white. You can still add shades of white to give it depth. You don't need to just leave it that way. We're doing the same thing right now with the black. Let's keep going. I'm gonna go to another black because the other one's getting a little bit mixed up. Blend that in right there. I'm gonna pull this down now because it feels a little too uniform, or you can pull it up. Let's do something here. Remember that cutting technique where I'm just using the back of the brush. Shows the color of the canvas. All right, so we've done most of the hard work. That was we'll call it the easy part. Now let's add a voice on top of that. Let's ditch these brushes and let's get our hands in this paint. I'm just gonna throw it. We're gonna add some more of the contour and texture. Again, you're still gonna see the more paint that we add on top of this, you're still going to see that original color that we started with. Those cool colors, the purple, the blue. That's why we started with that, because you can still see it and feel it the more that we add on top. And when you're painting, don't try to make everything a masterpiece, because you end up stopping yourself from just being free. If you're thinking in the back of your head, this has to be perfect. It doesn't need to be, but you just need to get as close to your vision, and also you need to get all those bad paintings out of the way too. Like, everything can't be a home run. So get them out of the way, learn from the mistakes, get on to the next painting, keep moving forward. All right, so wash your hands, wash those. We're gonna do the same thing, but with the brighter green. Like a little bit of that. We've already established kind of where we need it. All right, let's keep this moving. We're gonna do this now on the bride's face. Again, thank you for watching this. It is our special Halloween live stream. Since it's Halloween, before you head out, what are you dressing up as? Or if you went out this past weekend, what was your costume? What did you dress up as? Myself and Chadi, we dressed up as Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Last year, we were Frankenstein and Frankenstein's bride. But what are you today for Halloween this weekend? Let me know. Let's get back into this. Also, use that chat to let me know your city, state, or country. Let me know where you're watching this from. Let's add some water to this paint that's already on my hands, and we can throw it on there. We're gonna do the same thing, but with some different colors. All right, let's do that with the green. Water it down so the paint flies. I used to not think that there was an art to throwing paint until I've been throwing paint for most of my career, and I realized there's sort of an art to it. A little bit of an art to it, but it's a fun art. All right, let's do one last thing. Let's get just a couple of these details with the eyelashes for his bride, and then we're gonna end this painting. Just like that, very simple. All right. You know what to do. The very last thing, what we're gonna do is a handprint. All right, take one last look at this Halloween theme, Frankenstein and his bride. Take one last look, and then we'll chat for just a little bit. Again, thank you all for watching this Halloween live stream. Right there, Frankenstein, his bride. I hope you're enjoying this. Use that chat. We're not done yet. Let me know, what are you dressing up as? What did you dress up as this weekend? What's been some of your favorite costumes you've seen for Halloween? Let me know. All right, let's chat. All right, welcome again, everybody. Okay, thank you again for everyone that's watching. So again, you guys have been letting me know what your costumes are down below, and also what you wore this weekend or even tonight. So I can't wait to grow back my facial hair, by the way. So I shaved it all off this past weekend for my costume, which was we were Jack and Sally for Nightmare Before Christmas, but we'll get back to that. Again, thank you so much for watching this. If you haven't already subscribed on our YouTube channel, it's the best way to support these live streams. If you're watching this on Instagram, be sure to follow or even share some of your favorite posts on your story. It goes a long ways. Again, my name is David Garibaldi. Also, one last thing is we're going to be relaunching our Paint and Prosper coaching course for artists. So keep an eye out for that. Relaunching for Black Friday, but really kicking off in the new year. My name is David Garibaldi. Take one last look at that painting. All right, thank you. Peace.